absolute joy.
Has Russell T Davies just confirmed that he will in fact be leaving the role of Doctor Who showrunner? Has he confirmed, finally, who Billie Piper is actually playing in this new era? Sure, we saw Ncuti regenerate into Billie, but does that mean she's the Doctor? Well, Russell today talks about a whole host of possibilities and gives us some cryptic teases and clues, and also he kind of set the internet ablaze with a quote that we will read in literally just a second from this week's edition of Doctor Who magazine. Once again, I'm not sponsored by these guys, but if you like Doctor Who and Doctor Who news, you should absolutely check out Doctor Who magazine. Genuinely got a whole host of interesting articles in there, and normally you get a letter from the showrunner each edition. But this is Russell's final one, at least for now. Russell has signed off from doing these letters from the showrunner for the foreseeable future, which is exactly what kickstarted the online panic over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads of all places, that in fact he's not only left that column, he's left the role as showrunner. Now, this is coming off the back of reports last week, you can go and watch my prior videos, that Russell T Davies was sort of clashing with the new streamer that they may have found who will produce Doctor Who. So the word on the street goes that the Disney deal is up. Once The War Between the Land and the Sea has completed its run, the BBC will officially partner or officially confirm their partnership with another big streaming service, i.e. Amazon Prime or Netflix or HBO Max. But the rumours were saying last week that whichever streamer it may be has contrasting ideas for Doctor Who. They want to make it similar to big hits like Stranger Things, probably a more serialised sort of approach, like Doctor Who Flux did, but apparently Russell doesn't want that as much. So with all these rumours flying round, how much credibility is there to the possibility that Russell's out? Russell's gone? Well, he's said repeatedly, for a very long time, he is here to stay. But, I mean, so did Ncuti Gatwa. There's numerous articles of Ncuti going, I'm not leaving the show until I've faced a Dalek. He even has that line in last year's season finale, which I think is only just hitting a year old, where he is explaining regeneration to Ruby, and he goes, don't worry, this face is going to be sticking around for a long time. But, alas, Ncuti's gone. Is Russell going with him? As for Russell's comments in the latest edition of Doctor Who magazine, this passage here is what got everybody talking. He said, but we don't know what's happening yet. And while everyone works that out, I'll take a pause on this page. Thanks for reading. And thanks to Doctor Who magazine. A delight to work with you on this wonderful magazine. Hopefully, we'll have news soon, and certainly the war between the land and the sea is about to break out, so there are great things ahead. Until then, it's been an absolute joy. Now, yeah, I can't lie, there's not much positivity you can sort of spin with this. Sure, Russell's saying hopefully there's news soon, and I do like that they're being quite transparent with it, to be honest, because you can tell that Doctor Who is in a bit of jeopardy, like they don't quite know where it's going or if it's even going into future territory. But the fact that Russell's not even sticking around to do the letter from the showrunner for during the war between the land and the sea, I mean, it basically confirms he's currently, doing nothing for the future of Doctor Who. Not in a bad way, but yeah, his plate's empty, and I think we are going to have to wait until the spin-off is done to find out any news. But does this mean Russell is leaving? Well, before everybody panics, as I say, that quote was flying round Twitter. But what people missed out for some bizarre I say some bizarre reason because it doesn't create the content engagement as much, was this extract from just above it in the very same article, where Russell says, all heading towards the end. No, not the end. Don't be mad. Doctor Who will never end. There are pathways leading to potential futures. We've still got the mystery of that bright and blazing ending. Oh, hello. Yes, indeed. Hello, Billie. And there's Susan, of course. I wonder if we'll ever find out who the boss is, or who the boss are. I'm still wondering who Gus is from Mummy on the Orient Express. maybe they're the same. So this is a slightly more positively phrased quote from Russell. Obviously, you can still read it as like, you know, at the start of this season, you can go back and watch one of my earlier videos, but Russell was interviewed and he sort of said, Doctor Who's never going to go away, it's established itself in British culture, similar to Sherlock Holmes or Robin Hood. The mythos and the legacy isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's not going to fade from the public's consciousness. But also, I do kind of think this implies, to me at least, Russell's not going anywhere, at least in the immediate future. I think it is literally, I've said it in this video already, but it's just a case of waiting and seeing. I think Disney have probably pulled out. The creator of Andor was talking about how difficult it was to get a season 2. Disney don't see streaming as the future of TV anymore. Now obviously, this immediate recommission hasn't happened for a variety of reasons. I think everybody claiming that Russell's completely lost the plot and there's no logic to what he's doing anymore is wrong. I think he took quite an experimental gamble, tried to make a bit of hybrid television that nobody had really made before, and I see the vision, I just think it's a shame that it hasn't panned out and worked. And you can really see his vision shining through in some of these articles from the latest Doctor Who magazine, in which he basically explains that he wants to encourage new fans to go back and watch old episodes, like The Three Doctors or Mark of the Rani, to discover the rich lore behind such characters. He says that that's how you get people in. It doesn't do any harm, and there's a lot of joy in it. Now obviously, this is the whole idea of the Whoniverse. I still find it baffling, and I think this approach would have worked a lot better if, obviously in the United Kingdom, we've got all of Doctor Who in one place. We have the Whoniverse on iPlayer. We can go back and watch the classics, we can go back and watch New Who, we can go back and watch New Who, all in one place. The spin-offs are there too. And I see Russell's vision of, like, internet storytelling, internet age storytelling, and this idea of introducing people to the backlog and to the lore and the history of the show to draw them in. But I think the fact that the history of the show is inaccessible in every other country than United Kingdom it's just a bit wild. Like Sutekh in last year's The Legend of Ruby Sunday / The Empire of Death. Omega has had a bit of an upgrade. He's now a beast living in the Underverse, a twisted godlike entity. Now, for all of those who were commenting cope when I said that the reality war didn't actually feature Omega, it was just a contorted version of him, here's the proof from the showrunner himself. My Omega, the Omega that we know and love from Classic Who, can still come back one day, because this is a twisted, godlike version of him, rather than actually him. And also, the show's about time travel. This could be Omega in his final days, when he's been contorted beyond belief. So I'm still, fingers crossed, the real Omega will come back at some point. Russell said, you don't need a man in a big cloak when you've got Archie Punjabi and Anita Dobson being their own Time Lords. A third one was just going to make it. Slightly mad, Russell laughs. Which, I don't know, I don't agree. If you don't want 3 Time Lords in your story, don't put 3 Time Lords in your story. Like, I see the vision of Omega coming back, and I just, I want to emphasise, I know the fandom is in such like a negative place at the moment, and I do see why, because this is the most uncertain the future of the show has ever been, at least for the majority of New Who fans. Like, us lot who weren't born when the classic hiatus happened, this is the first time where there's been no recommission, no word on what's happening, and that column from Russell about the future of the show and the fact that he stopped writing his letter for showrunner, I think it does imply, well, it doesn't imply, we know that there are problems going on behind the scenes. We can just hope that Doctor Who comes back and is well written again. That's all I'm asking for. Because quite frankly, Season 2 had some of my favourite Doctor Who in a very long time. It started off with such a good 3-episode streak, and even Lucky Day was quite good, and then it got a little bit mixed as the season went on, I think mainly because the character of Belinda was given less to do. But I think we'll discuss all of that and the original plans for Season 2 in another video soon, because we do also have this from Doctor Who magazine, where Russell outlines his original plans and how the Sutekh finale was originally very, very different and arguably better. before production troubles came along and they had to rewrite. But as I say, subscribe, stay tuned, notification bell on, check out the Patreon if you want, because yeah, we'll make a video on that someday soon. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think the future of the show holds. Is this Russell T Davies leaving? Who knows? Only time will tell. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single
No,
episode.
I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.